Sleepless Beats Dream Union
You remember that day I couldn't feel nothing. You remember that day I was heartbroken. You remember that day I was crying. You remember that day I couldn't even heal him. Can't do nothing, was heartbroken. I can't feel nobody, I can't even heal. Can't feel nothing, was heartbroken. You remember that day you left. You remember that day I was crying. You remember that day I was alone. You remember that day I couldn't make it out. And I'm trying to depend on myself. I was in the hood trying to make a better project. And I'm trying to make a good choices. You remember that day I couldn't feel nothing. You remember that day I was heartbroken. You remember that day I was crying. You remember that day I couldn't even heal him. Can't do nothing, was heartbroken. I can't feel nobody, I can't even heal. Can't feel nothing, was heartbroken. Can't do nothing, I deep inside the water, ain't nobody coming to save me. And I'm sorry what I did to you, but sometimes I be mad to myself. Every time I try to walk away, every time I been too much problems, every time since I was young, been through that much pain. You remember that day I couldn't feel nothing. You remember that day I couldn't feel nothing. You remember that day I was heartbroken.